I mentioned to both classes that we always have that solution manual available, but with the COVID situation, we don't want everybody handling the solution manual. So I'll have this video together for you to reference and take a look at some solutions, and I'll go ahead and combine them and turn them into a PDF for you guys to look at. So the first one you're completing is you create the table yourselves, the Boston ad budget. So you can see here the solution and what I'm looking at. A few things that everybody, well, not everybody, but when there's a common mistake, it's aligning these rows. And as always in these columns, when they're set up, you should see, try to match the alignment so you can see there's some align right when these total up. Some people don't quite get this text rotated. Merging is one of the skills that's the most helpful, doing tables within tables, and I get to where everything I do is in tables when I'm working in Word for the most part, because everything I write is more instructional versus essays and that kind of thing. So this is 5-1 Boston ad budget. I believe you can elect your own colors, but the idea is to kind of make a color scheme for these different ad categories. So should have a pretty nice looking table here when you're done. And let's move over and take a look at 5-2 investments. I would say probably a third of people get this one wrong, and the note I have made for myself is the main reason if you are not getting these average returns to come out because you're using some calculations is that you've incorrectly merged something in the merge process. So if your average returns aren't calculating right and it's kind of a mess, backtrack a little bit and see where your merge issues are to get this one to come out. So that's been the main problem I've seen when students complete this particular assignment. So again, that's 5-2 mutual funds. Let's take a look now, moving to 5-3 is sales. Same thing applies. Work on your merges, have some nice alignment, and if you're having issues with the calculations, it generally falls back to an issue with the merging. So this is 5- module 5.3 2019 sales. Jumping over to 5-4 cost of living in US cities. I believe this one you can do some of your own color. What I'm looking for is making sure you're keeping these columns nice and tidy so they're not mangled. And again, a big important part of this particular one is getting these columns right and the calculations correctly. So double check that these are out, coming out correctly. Those are your check figures. Moving to 5-5, the add fact sheet. This one you should find a video available to complete. This is one that people really struggle with. It's a table within a table, and the instructions are a little bit hard to follow, so please review the video that I provide if you have trouble replicating this. Essentially, you create a table, and then this section you can see when I click on it is another table inside of those cells. And here's another table, and then what we do is these cells are just filled in with different colors and different borders applied to these cells with different merges. And again, that's just a brief overview. There is a video going where I work through this entire assignment, instruction steps by steps, so you can follow that as needed. Common mistakes are just kind of not getting this thing merged correctly, and different things done with these dots, these borders not applied right. So slower is faster. This is really something you could see that would be similar to a test item where you have some custom borders and merges in a table within a table. So it's definitely one to make sure you have figured out and ask questions about if you're unable to replicate it. going to number 6 is creating a resume for yourself. And as I mentioned before, I know you guys have done these before and this serves as a review. If you have this resume assignment, please pull it up and just update it. I don't mind for this assignment if you're using the same one. What you should see is you can click here and you see all the table properties. So we can come and come to our layout and view grid lines, and then we can see here. So I can see all how my table's set up. So again, when I do something like this, I do some planning. So I might do 3 columns, 10 rows, and then I split these into 2, split these into 2, or merge. So if these are 3. So do some planning when you're building a table like this, makes it a little easier. And if you have this from last time, just go ahead and update it. If you worked this summer, you achieved some things in class last year. This one, I don't mind you using the same file, just get it updated. And let's take a look here. Number 7. You are creating, well, let me go back to, oops, go back to one page view. Somehow I have an extra sheet on there, probably because that table's a little big. So it should be one page. I need to correct this solution file, but you can go ahead and switch this for the current year. Again, just some extra practice on table, getting a graphic in there. Should be pretty straightforward. And that one, it's asking you to create by looking at it. So a visual workshop. So these are what you should see once you complete yours. So I hope those few tips help you out. As we move along a little bit, there's some more complex things causing issues. So I'll review those as I post a video with the solutions in it.